you've got the power settings. So yeah, you don't want to push the restart button. However, the restart button, if you are having problems with your computer, okay, and they're not being resolved by you switching it on and off, restart it, because then it will restart all your programs. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. All right. Okay, a basic knowledge of computers and terminology. Sorry, I just need to catch up again. Okay, so this is an old school computer. A lot of us work on laptops nowadays. This is called a CPU, which is a computer processing unit, laptop, okay, which includes a computer processing unit, okay, and it's basically the motherboard. It's the real, and it's what we refer to as hardware, okay. All right, it's the brain of the computer. So as soon as you tell the computer that you want to use Word, all right, it's going to use your central processing unit to go and fetch the program and bring it back to you and load it up onto your computer. Very much like you would have a thought on your head. You would think about it. Your little librarian would go through your head and find that memory and then bring it back for you so that you could use it at that time. Okay. All right, so hardware, which is referred to, is all things that you can touch and feel. So it would be the CPU, the screens, the mouse, the printers, laptops. So anything hard. So your keyboard is hardware. So when people talk about what hardware are you using, they're asking you what actual units you're using. So they're things that you can touch and feel. Now, software is generally, well, it is definitely programs. All right. So you would download Windows 10, or you would download, you know, your Microsoft 365, your Zoom that you're using, your Explorer, your Chrome. So those are all programs that we would use. You cannot actually physically touch and feel them, but you know that they're being used on your computer. So that's referred to as software. So your Word, your Excel, your Outlook, those are all software in terms of terminology. Okay. All right. Saving a document and files to directory so you can find them again. So just so that you know, folders and files will look like this on your computer. So it's very much like old school, having a folder that you would put stuff into, okay, and your files will go into your folders. All right, so running of applications. Okay, wait, let's go back one. Okay, running of applications. I'm going to go back to stop screen. Is there any questions based on what I've just shared with you? I know I've gone through it very, very quickly, but I want to concentrate more on the word stuff that you guys wanted to hear about. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this little button over here on your computer. It's on the, I'm not sharing my screen, am I? Damn, okay, hold on a second.
No, not yet. There you go.
Thank you.
It's still the presentation.
Yeah, I'm going to just get out of there. Okay, so if you have a look at this bar at the bottom of your computer, this is called the taskbar. So you'll see I've got things tagged to my taskbar, which are things that I use regularly. Okay, so say now, for example, so I've got Zoom on my taskbar here, but if I right click on it, I can unpin it from my taskbar. Okay. And that means that it's no longer, and because it's in use, it's still going to be there. So let me choose something. So WhatsApp, for example, I'm going to unpin it from my taskbar because I no longer need it urgently, or I need to access it quickly. But let's say now, for example, I'm going to be using WhatsApp quite often. So there's a little magnifying glass here on your left-hand side, which you just click, all right? And in there, you can type whatever it is, whatever program you're looking for. So I'm looking for WhatsApp, all right? And I'm going to pin it to my taskbar. Okay, so now it will always appear on my taskbar, but now I don't necessarily want it in that position because I'm used to it being 3 or 4 down. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag it and put it wherever I'm used to having that particular little icon. Okay, so these are icons on your computer, and what they are, they're little shortcuts. All right, so let's have a look at a Word document. All right, so for this example, I'm going to open up a blank Word document. Okay, now if you have a look at a blank Word document, all right, the important things to notice, all right, is document 1. All right, now I'm going to change and save this document into another name. All right, and I shall show you how that works. So I'm going to save it, and I'm just for example going to save it on my desktop for right now. Okay, and I'm going to call it AutoJet Training. Okay, and save. Now you'll see at the top of the document, it says that this is the document that I am working in, AutoJet Training. Okay, now Tracey was talking about your autosave. So what you can do is you can put your autosave on, okay, and what it will do is automatically as you are typing, every now and again it will automatically save what you're doing. So it's actually quite a handy thing to have. Or alternatively, what you can do is you can click on the save icon at the top every now and again, okay? And then the shortcut for save is Control S. So when I am busy typing a document and I'm really into my document, I just Control S every now and again just to make sure that my document is saved. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much of the shortcuts and the controls and that kind of thing. So that is saving a document. When you are saving a document into a folder, for example, so I want to go and file, save as. Now, I want to create a new document, a new folder for this document. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this folder AutoJet. Then I know that all of my AutoJet training is going to be put into this particular folder. All right, so once again, I'm just going to change this to desktop.
So Tracey, Jade has asked here, do you have to rename it first?
It's always advisable. And it's advisable to save a document first, especially if you're editing a document. So say now, for example, I'm writing a report and I come back to my report tomorrow. What I want to do is I want to save the documents again, and I want to create a new file to work in. So what I'm going to do, let me just find something that I can open quickly for you. Okay, I'm just going to open this document, for example. Okay, so now I've worked on this document yesterday, all right? And what I want to do is I want to create a history of having worked on documents and what I did on certain days. Or alternatively, I'm going to be doing a lot of editing and I want to be able to have my original document. So if I'm going to be working on this document today, I'm generally, and this is how I would work, is I would save a copy and I would just put today's date on the end of it. Okay, then I know that this document is what I've worked on today. All right. And then when you've got a final document, what you can do is you can go back and delete the documents you don't want. Does that make sense, Jade?
It does make sense. I don't delete everything. I have version 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 12, 17 with each additional thing. And sometimes I have a document that I've saved and I've worked on, and then there's another folder that has the same stuff that hasn't been, that's like the blank document. And I don't understand how I get 2 saved documents, but one I've worked on and one I haven't.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed where you saved the date. I can see it on the top here.
All right, so I'm going File, Save As. All right. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the date over here.
No problem.
Okay. All right. So Jade, if you want to start getting rid of those files, those version 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can do, because it's taking up a lot of space on your computer. And the more space your files take on your computer, the slower your computer is going to be. Okay.
Yeah, I got you. I understand that. Okay. I'm just so scared of deleting something in case it doesn't save what I'm actually working on.
Yes, but once again, are you working with a OneDrive, a cloud drive?
I don't know if I'm working on cloud, sweetie.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sometimes what I do as well is I just have a hard drive that I actually just put all those versions into. And it just frees up space on my computer, because the more space, more files you have on your computer, the slower your computer is going to be.
Because I open up a folder, say I open up a folder like you did now. I make a folder, then I do the document, then I want to send it to that folder, but it opens up a completely new folder and doesn't save to the folder that I opened, that I saved originally.
All right, let me show you how to do that. So it's a file. Okay, I'm going to save another copy of it. Okay, now where do I want to save it? Now, remember, I made a little folder on my desktop. Okay. Yes. So if I go to this browse button over here, it's going to bring up my Explorer. Okay. So let me go to my desktop. I didn't save a folder. Okay. Let me just quickly create one for you so that. Okay. So let's say, for example, now I want to put it into the Orjet folder, save, and I'm going to show you again. So it gives you an example. Okay. Right. So I'm going to go File, Save As. Okay. Now it's automatically, because I've already saved it there, but let's go and look for it. Okay. So I'm going to browse. Okay. I want to go to my desktop because I remember that I put an Orjet folder into my desktop, and I'm going to open the folder over here, and it's going to save that. But now it's already got one that's got that name. All right. If I save it right now, it's going to overwrite that one. Now, Jade, if I was working on a different version, let's say I want to make that version 1, I have to change the name of it in order to save it so it doesn't override my original document.
Yeah, I understand that. I know that I get.
Okay. All right. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, perfect. Right. So I'm going to just close this down again and open up the Word again. All right. Now, what's nice about Word is it will bring up all the things that you've been working on previously. Well, most of them. And if you can't find it, you can go down to More Documents over here, and it will bring up all the documents that you've been working on. So if you can't remember which folder you saved your document into, if you worked on it in the last sort of month, if you push that More button, you'd be able to go and have a look at all of that. And Tracey, just for you, there could be a Recover Unsaved documents at the bottom over here, which might recover your document that you were working on.
Okay, thanks.
So that might assist you there.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So browser is always going to bring you to your Explorer, And remember your PC, okay, what your PC is actually your CPU, your motherboard. Remember I told you about your motherboard? This is where all of your programs and everything will be stored. So if we go into your PC, it's going to give you a C drive. Generally, it's called C drive. And that is the amount of space that you have on your computer. So let's say, for example, I want to please check how much space I've got left on my C drive. So I'm going to right click on my C drive, okay? And I'm going to go down to properties over here, all right? And it tells me, all right, I've got the capacity of 456 gigs. I've got use space of 295 gigs, and I've got free space of 160 gigs. Okay, so I know I've still got plenty of space. What will happen is that your computer will start flashing red when you start running out of space on your computer. Okay, all right. Now I wanted to just show.
Tracey, sorry to interrupt you. And this whole measurement of gig and gigabyte, I don't understand what they are.
Okay. Okay, so do you know what a megabyte is?
No, to be perfectly honest.
All right, that's perfect. I love questions like this. Okay, so a megabyte is an amount of memory. Okay, and a megabyte is the smallest. In fact, a kilobyte is the smallest amount of memory. So if I send you a one-line email, I'm probably using about 1 or 2 kilobytes. Now, 1,000 kilobytes gives me 1 megabyte.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. 1,000 megabytes gives me 1 gigabyte. 1,000 gigabytes gives me 1 terabyte.
Okay. Is there a mnemonic for these bytes? Like, you know, when the olden days with kilograms, King Henry died a miserable death called measles.
Not that I know. But I love that kind of, I'll think of one for you.
Okay, thanks. I mean,
all that you need to realize is that when you're using bigger files, they generally megabytes, okay? And then you start getting gigabytes. When something starts to become a gigabyte, you're very rarely going to be able to send it over email and that kind of thing. So you would have to find another program to send it to somebody else. So I don't know if you use flash drives and hard drives and that kind of thing. So you'll see on there, it says 32 gigabytes.
Okay.
Okay, or 2 terabytes. That's how much space you're actually using. And if you go through your computer, when we come off this training, excuse me, just go through your computer and just have a look. So for example, I've got 365, which automatically comes with, I'm just going to close this and just open my Explorer. Okay, so I've got Dropbox, which I'm able to share files with other people. All right, and then I've got a OneDrive. Now, not to confuse you too much, all right, this OneDrive and this Dropbox live in cyberspace. They're not actually on your computer, so they're not actually taking up space on your computer. All right, so if I go into the properties of my OneDrive, okay, which might take a while because I've got quite a lot of stuff on there. Okay, so you'll have a look here. The size on the disk, or it is not really telling me how much I have available. It's giving me the size of the disk is 393, and it contains 122,709. I feel like Zoomer. We can't do numbers. Okay, does that make sense, Charlene?
Yeah. Not really, actually. It says the size is 393 and the size on the disc is 97.6.
Correct. Okay,
What
so
is
let me,
Okay.
all right. If I go into this PC, no, that's not going to give me that. I'll show you here again. Okay, this is generally what will be brought up. Okay. Space, use space.
Okay.
Gigabytes. Okay. So
Right.
so theoretically I've got a 500, they would refer to it as a 500 gigabyte hard drive, but it will only come up to, it will be a couple less because of the mechanisms that it needs to actually run the hard drive.
Okay.
So as much as it's a 500 gigabyte drive, only available space is 456 because the drive needs some space to think about what it needs to do.
Okay.
Okay. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, can I move on to something else? So I wanted to share with, I think it was Jade who works in Excel.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I want to just show you a very easy way. I'm just going to close that. Okay. In Excel. All right. In order to make your documents very pretty, very, very quickly. All right. This little arrow at the top of your screen on the left-hand side before your taskbars. Okay. If you click that, it highlights your entire spreadsheet. Okay. What I can do there is I can then make everything bold. I can then make everything blue. Okay. I can underline everything. I can ununderline. Okay. And that means that everything will then start to look a lot more pretty. And I think that's a nice, easy way of showing you how to do your entire document to look exactly the same. So say now, for example, I might have some email addresses here. No, I don't. So say now, for example, I'm just going to put mine in here. Typing is not my strong point today. Okay, it's automatically going to go blue. And you know why it's going blue? Because if I click on this, it's automatically going to tell my computer, I want to send an email to this person. Okay, so it makes it a link in your computer, especially in Excel. All right, now I don't want the line and I don't want it blue. Okay, I want it to look like the rest of my documents, but say now I've got 50 email addresses. I don't want to sit and do each one because I could go there and I could go underline it and go to that color. Okay, I don't want to do that. So also your undo at the top of your screen will give you your undos as to what you've done last. Okay, but I want everything to look the same again. So I'm going to highlight it all. I want to keep it to Calibri. All right. I want to make it all bold. I'm going to underline. So in order to underline, I first need to underline everything and then underline. And then it will take my line away here. Okay. And I'm going to make everything. And then everything looks the same. Jade, does that help?
Can I ask you a stupid question?
There's no stupid questions, but you can ask.
So now that you've made it black and everything looks pretty, that is no longer a link. If
Yes.
I double click on it now, it will no longer
Correct.
send me straight to email.
Oh, it does. It does.
Oh.
I've just
Okay.
done it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. Okay.
I think they just do it just so that you know that you can click on it. But yeah, even if, and obviously once I've clicked on it, it's gone back to a link. See on my computer?
Yeah, I understand. I see what you're saying.
Okay. All right. Would that support you? So also, for example, say now, for example, I want line 1. All right. Because it's my headings, I want it bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to line 1 over here. If you can see my little cursor, I'm only highlighting the whole of line 1. All right. And I'm going to make it bigger, but I'm not sure how big I want it. So I'm not going to put in numbers. I'm just going to go to that A increase and increase it as much as I like. All right. And I'm going to change that heading to purple.
While you're there, how
Yes,
do
ma'am.
I lock that first line? So if I scroll down and carry on filling stuff in there, that line remains at the top of my list. How do I do that?
Okay. So that's called freezing. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm listening.
I want to freeze at, all right. So I'm in column U over here.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm on line 2 and I want to
Yeah.
freeze from that point. Okay. So I'm going to go into view because it's my viewing. I want to view things differently. Okay. So
Okay.
but, when you think about what you're looking for, think logically. All right. Do I really want to create data here? I'm not working with data. I'm not working with formulas. I'm not working with a page layout, but I am working with a view. Okay. I want to see my document differently. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze my panes and it says keep your rows and columns visible. Okay. Freeze only the top row or freeze the first column. So I'm going to freeze from there, from where my cursor is. All right. So what this is going to do now, maybe because I don't have data here, let me just create some more data. I'm just copying and pasting here so that we can show you exactly what's going on. Okay. So now I want to go down.
Yes. That's
okay.
what I want. Yeah. That's
All
what
right,
I want.
Okay.
So
So that's your.
You froze the 1 to 20. No.
I
Did
froze.
you freeze 20 and the top row or just the top row?
I froze the top row. Okay, so I was on U2 where my box is right now, and I'm going back to freeze panes, and then it says unlock rows and columns because remember I froze them, so I'm going to unfreeze them now. Okay, and what's always best is to bring it to your left-hand side of where you want to start freezing. Okay, so once again, we're on U2, okay, and I'm going to freeze the pane. So if you look at the little picture over here,
That's what I'm looking at.
Top row and the columns.
Is the column U? Are you freezing the whole of U?
Correct, I'm freezing the whole of U.
Okay, I only want to freeze the top line thing, so I picked the second thing.
Yes, so you would go to freeze pane and have a look at the picture. There's the top row.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is as I scroll down, my top row is staying where it is.
That's what I want.
Okay.
That's what I want. Yeah, got you.
All right. Okay. Any other questions on this? I know it's not quite basics, but I'm happy to support.
I'm good for now.
Yes,
Thank you.
Tracey, what is the dotted lines around the block?
Oh, okay.
Is that what you copy and pasted?
That's what I copied and pasted.
So why is it still dotted?
Because I can still paste. So it said to me that this is still on my clipboard, so I can paste it anywhere on my computer.
Okay.
Okay. So it will only go away when I start typing something else.
And if you want to send a bulk email, just say in column V or whatever, to all these addresses, and you highlight the whole thing, will that dotted box come up as well? You want to copy that and send it as a bulk email.
Okay, so you see how I'm just pressing on the V, it's highlighting my whole column. Okay, so I can either Control C, which is copy, okay, or I can right click and I can copy, okay. Then I can go to my emails and I can create a new email and I can paste. Okay,
So you can either do, you go to that column and you find the copy button. Where was the copy?
Okay. All right. So I'm going back to home. Remember, most of my common things are home. All right.
Oh, there's copy. Amazing. Okay.
Copy over there. And if you're working in your document, always right click because it gives you all your little shortcuts here. Do you want to copy, cut, copy, paste, smart lookup, insert cells, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I just want to save this copy. No, I actually don't want to save this. It's actually a document. Okay, so I'm not going to save this. It's saying to me, there's a large amount of information on your clipboard. Do you want to paste it or do you want to keep it for later or are you finished with it? So remember I said to you at the beginning, our computers think that we're morons. So they're always going to say to you, what do you want to do? So if I didn't know what to do here, okay, and
Tracey,
just read. Yes.
Sorry. If you do want to keep this for later.
Yes.
If you do want, where the hell does it go? If you press yes, you want to keep it for later. Where does it save?
All right. It's going to save it on your clipboard.
Where's my clipboard?
What it's going to do is it's almost like a chalkboard. Okay.
Right.
You can only save one thing on it at a time.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So say now, for example, I'm going to say, yes, I want to save this because I'm going to use it later. All right. So yes. All right. Now let's go to a Word document, for example, and I'm just going to create a new Word document. Okay. Now I'm going to paste. Okay. And I can paste it as many times as I like. But the minute I save something else onto my blackboard, it's going to take what I had on it off.
So you have to take the stuff that you've copied and place it on a Word document off your clipboard.
You don't have to. If you finish copying with it, you don't have to save it.
So where does my clipboard live? Is what I'm asking.
It's on your hard drive somewhere. It's not something. Let's have a look if we can find it. Oops. Somebody was asking about snipping tools earlier.
That's Jade again.
Okay, we'll go into that. Okay, so here's clipboard settings.
Right.
Okay, clipboard history. Here you can have a look at clear your data, that kind of thing. So it's on your computer, but it's not a program as such, if you know what I mean.
I do.
So it's not a little notebook somewhere. It's a program.
Okay, I think I got it.
Sometimes when it says there's a large amount of data and some data might be distorted or whatever word it's used, what should you do then?
When you're closing a document and you've copied.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Most of the time you don't need it again. So for example, what I copied off my Word document is on my Word document. I can always go and copy it again.
Okay.
Okay. So there's no particular reason why I need to keep it on my clipboard. So I've really never ever pushed the yes button until today. Thanks, Jade. So it's something that you don't need to necessarily keep, because if I go back to my Excel document, now remember, I can't remember where I saved that Excel document, but the last documents I worked on was 3 minutes ago. So it's going to bring it up. Okay. And I can always go and copy and paste that again.
I've never clicked on yes either, so I understand. That's perfect. I follow you completely.
All right, perfect. Okay, and then what were you asking about the snipping tool, babe? Sorry, very professional for me to call you babe.
No problem, Tracy. Okay, so I take a snipping tool, right? I make a new thing. I copy it. I put it on a Word document. Okay. Now I want to change the size of it. I want to enlarge it. It seems to not let me do anything once it's pasted on the Word document. It seems to stay the same size.
Okay. All right. Charlene, this might be interesting for you. So say now, for example, I want to take a photograph of my screen right now. Okay. And I want to put it into, let's say, the presentation that I'm doing right now. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my magnifying glass. All right. And I know that the program that I want to use is called Snippet. Most computers have got it. Okay. It's my snipping tool. All right. I'm going to open my snipping tool. Okay, it's here under my, yeah.
Then I'm going to say new. Then I'm going to copy.
Yeah, okay, so, yep, I'm going to go new. Okay, and I'm going to highlight everything that I want to copy.
Correct.
Okay, now it's made a copy for me.
Correct.
And I just need to move that back. I'm going to save it. All right. And once again, I'm just going to put this on my desktop. So I'm going to choose desktop and I'm going to put snippets. Okay. And it saved it. Just have a look at the type. It saved it as a portable network graphic file, which is a PNG. So most of you would have heard of a JPEG, which is a picture. A PNG is just a picture without a background. So it hasn't put a white background around it. Okay, so save. Now I'm going to go and open up my Word documents. Okay, and I'm just going to create a new page here. All right. And I want to put that picture that I took of you guys on my screen. And I'm going to go, because I want to insert, remember I want to put a picture in, all right? I'm going to put a picture in, and where do I want to get this picture from? Do I want to get it from a device, a stock image, or an online picture? So I remember I saved this document on this device on my desktop, and it was called Snippet. Okay, so I'm going to insert the snippet, all right? Now, because it's got these little circles here, Jade.
Yes, now I know to extend on that, but mine never gave me that, the little circle. Because I never saved it. I copied it from Snippet and pasted it.
Ah,
so
okay.
It gave me these little circles to make it bigger. Is that the error?
Yeah, I think so. So what did you do from here?
I went to edit.
Yeah.
And then I copied it. Then I went to the Word document and I pasted it.
Let's just see what happens. I'm just going to create a new page.
Yeah. Can you
hold
see
on. Okay. Now if I click, see if I click on the image, it's going to give me an opportunity to resize it.
Okay.
Whether you copy it or save it.
Okay. So if I click on it, it will let me resize it.
Yes. Okay, let's just right click and see what it says here. Okay, it says change picture. All right, size and position. So you could go into right click and size and position and change it here, but that's very laborious. Okay, it's much easier just to click and drag.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
When would you use the snippet tool or print screen? Because very often print screen comes very blurred.
Okay, I would prefer to use snippet versus print screen. All right, it's a much better program or option than print screen. So say now, for example, I did a print screen of this screen that I'm doing here. So I'm just going to FN print screen. All right, and I'm just going to go onto a new page again. Page up, Control V. Okay. So here I've taken a picture here. All right. So it's done pretty much the same thing. Okay. So sometimes when you say now, for example, Charlene, you've got an error message on your computer and you want to show somebody what that error message is, you could then take a copy of that screen, either by a print screen or through a snippet, and then you could send that to them to show them what the error message is. Or say now, for example, I want to show, so in this example, I want to show us on the Zoom and I want to show what my screen looks like. I can do it that way.
So if I'm using Snippet Tool, I don't need to know how to use print screen.
It's the same thing, my love.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Fine.
Okay. But print screen will just take your whole screen. Snippet, you'll be able to take a section of your screen. You're able to maneuver it.
Fully. Okay.
All right. Have I covered everything?
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions I don't want to do that. Okay.
If I take the snippet thing that I did and I put it in Excel instead of Word, I'm going to have the same desired effect of changing the size, etc. with the dots.
Do. Let's just have a look. I'm going to insert pictures from this device. There we go.
Okay.
And if I didn't have my little bubbles, I'll click on it and be able to move it.
Okay. And I can do this with multiple. So like if I take 8 pictures, I can move the dots for all 8 and whatever in Excel.
Yes. And if you push the, so now, for example, I put another snippet here. So let's insert picture. Okay. Now, they're different sizes. Okay. So if I hold the shift key, I can actually choose both of them.
Shift.
And yeah, shift. You have to click on. So I want this picture and I want that picture. I'm going to hold the shift key and it's going to be able to, I'm going to be able to choose both.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yay, I've had such fun doing this one. Trace?
Yay.
So did we.
So I must say that although we didn't stick exactly to our agenda, I think what we covered was so much more valuable than what you want to learn specifically this morning. I do think that going forward, we need quite a few parts of these because I have questions as well, but felt that they were a little bit too or more advanced for this specific session, how to minimize screens and work off like 5 different things at once and things like that. So if you would like, and we always put the AutoJet feedback form into the post-webinar communication, and if Tracey is agreeable and available, we could maybe look at doing like a 3-part on basics, a little bit more advanced after that, and then maybe a 3rd one afterwards. So we'd love